What's up guys, back with another video in Groove Agent. Since I figured out that you can use the Acoustic Agent style player with Beat Agent kits, I've been on kind of a mission multi-sampling lots of acoustic drums from different sources in my library and my VST instruments. So I thought I'd walk you through the process with a quick video. So what I've been doing here is building up an instrument using the session kit from Battery, which is this one. Each of the drum sounds in here has 15 layers of multi-sampling. Now the nice thing about that one is you can access the WAV files. So we could go into, let's see, it's going to be in here somewhere. Just need to close that. Let's have a look. Here we go. Oh. And okay, so we're looking for the kick drum. I've already sampled everything else. It was called Session. Okay, so these are the samples we're looking for. This one through 15. And the order is going to be off. So we're going to take those, drag them all to the kick pad here, using that top option. And now that's going to map them all to velocity, but because the naming's a little off, we've got 10 through 15 between 1 and 2. So I'm just going to drag those to the end here to fix it real quick. It's kind of a tedious process. I have to do this with every other one of these that I've done beforehand. Okay, so that should be good to go. I'm just going to rename the pad as kick. Colour in blue, because that's how I like my kick drum pads. And then I'm going to save the instrument. So we'll save the instrument here. I'm going to make sure I'm in the correct folder. I want to be in Battery 4 Kits, Presets. Here's the rest of the kit that I've already saved. We'll call it Session 1 Kick, and make sure we save it as a kick drum for easy recalling later. So now that's done, I'm going to save the kit. I'm just going to make sure that this one is, before we do that here, let's make sure it's routed to the kick bus that I set up, then save the kit. Okay, so now we should be able to switch to the style player and kind of see how it sounds. We could try something a bit funkier. And you have to bear in mind this isn't really mixed. All I did was turn the hats down to like minus 12 dB. Kind of regular things I do, and the rides down and the crashes down a bit. And then, yeah, that's literally all I've done. It's basically dry. Now I'm going to walk you through the process of, say you wanted to multi-sample drums from a drum source that doesn't allow you to access the sound library like Battery does. So we'll just use Groove Agent as an example here. Just going to switch these over. Now what I've done is I loaded the initialized preset for the studio kit here. And I went one further and I centered the panning on everything, and I took all of the basic EQing off of all of the groups. The only thing that has EQs is still, I kind of liked what these were doing on the actual separate kick and snare mics, so I left those on. But other than that, it's completely dry. So what we would do, if we wanted to sample this drum by drum, is you're going to need to record it with like the room and overhead setting that you like. So I've basically, I've turned those down a little bit, and if I just close this up for a sec, on the MIDI channel here, I'm just going to draw in an 8-bar block, We're going to go in here, and the kick drum, for instance, is on C1. So we'll draw in eight MIDI notes, 1 bar long here. And then just going to close Groove Agent for a sec. If I select all of these, switch this over to the line tool, and we're going to draw a velocity scale like so. Just going to fix the last one there. And then, because we're going to render this in place, we want it all as separate samples without having to slice it up again. Just going to chop it all up into separate bits now. And now that should be just triggering the kick drum at different velocities. Just going to go in and make sure that follow transport's off now. Okay. Okay, so say you wanted to have all of the kit pieces separate from all of the acoustic agent kits so you can mix and match them. You would lose the ability to send different amounts of stuff to the room. You would just have the one recording. But you do get the different layers of velocity. So now what we would do is select all of that. And I've got render in place, which is here, edit, render in place. I've got it set to Alt-1. So I'll hit Alt-1. It'll bring up the menu. I'm just going to make sure we're going to the folder that I want, which is, resample kits, but we want the kick drum folder. And we'll call it Studio Kick, and then we'll render. And you can see there, if we zoom in here as well, here, you can see that it's increasing in velocity. So that's saved now. We can move on to a different one. So what you're going to want to do is go into your MIDI here, and say we wanted to capture the main snare next. We'll open that up, we'll select all of that, move it up to D1, that's our main snare, close it. We can get rid of this because it's already saved to disk, and then select all that again, Alt-1. This time we're going to want it to go to the snare folder, and we're going to want to call it Studio Snare. Get that one rendered, and then all you would do if you wanted to load those up into a kit, once you've got everything that you want multi-sampled, and it takes a while to do a full kit because there's lots of different variations of hi-hat and snare. And then one thing to bear in mind actually is when you're doing cymbals and rides, you're probably going to want to do around 8 bars in length for each piece that you sample. So again, we would just take that, I'm going to zoom way out, and we'll duplicate it 8 times, hit P to get that loop in, and then we'll find one of the crash cymbals here. Before I do though, I just need to do the velocity curve again. So we'll select all of those, use the tool here. There we go. Okay, so there's a crash cymbal. We want to capture the entire sound, so it's got plenty of time to die out. Let's see how the louder ones are. Okay, yeah, 8 bars is overkill, but then what you would do is, you know, maybe call this Studio Crash, and we'll render that in place. We'll go to Symbols, and render. And there we have it, 8 different velocity layers of the crash as well. And you'd want to do that with all of the symbols, the rides, the china, and anything like that you have available. Even the open hats, you're probably going to want more than 1 bar, maybe 2 bars on those, maybe even 4. But yeah, that's kind of how that would work. And then within Groove Agent, to save those as instruments, just going to delete this now. What you can do is, if we'll create a new kit here on the instrument panel here on C1 where the kick would be. We'll navigate to that folder, get out of this library here and go to this one. Okay, so there's our 8 layers of velocity. Just Control A there. Drag that on there, making sure we select that top one. Those will be mapped to velocity, but this last one here should be at the beginning just because of the way they were named. I'm sorry about the background noise, there's someone outside with a leaf blower. Okay, so there's our kick drum, and then we'll go to where the snare should be. We'll find the snare. Make sure it's in order, which it isn't, so we'll put that one at the beginning. That's the loudest one. And then, you know, we've got our multi-sample kick and snare, and then, you know, just rename this studio kick and studio snare. And we'll just save those, save the instrument. Going to make sure I'm in the library I want to be in, which is here. Make sure the category is correct so we can recall it easily. And job done. And then we'll do the same with the snare. Job done. And then, you know, I've been going through Addictive Drums and Battery and other sources looking for drum material to multi-sample so I can trigger them and mix and match them with the style player. So I'll show you, you know, the fruits of the labour now, kind of what you can achieve with this. So I've already got some kind of basic mixing going on, as I showed you, just turning down on this battery kit, sorry, this is the one we'll be using. Just turning down the hats and some other stuff. And we can just, you know, go through some of the ones that I've already multi-sampled and drop them on in place of these ones that are getting triggered by the style player. Let's make follow transport back on again. Alright, we should be good. So yeah, let's try the Groove Agent one. And then on our snares here, you can see there a lot of the stuff that I've sampled from So yeah, there we have the Groove Agent Studio Kit, kick and snare, multi-sampled. with a battery kit for the rest of it. So yeah, you get the idea. You can really expand your acoustic library that way. So yeah, that's another thing that I've been going a bit crazy with since I figured out that you can use this with the Beat Agent kits. So yeah, just a bit of an expansion really on the quick tip I did the other day on using this with Beat Agent with that Yamaha kit, and just kind of how you can really, you know, go through other drum samplers you have maybe, or go through your sample library and find multi-sampled kits that you might have from, you know, various sources. So yeah, that's it. You can really create a lot of kits now to use this thing with and capture the fills and all of that. Obviously this would need some better mixing, but yeah, that's it for another video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and give you some inspiration for something new to try out. Peace out.